So I have what I'm here called Turbo Yawg. This is this is what I'm dubbing Turbo Yawg, and I have been liking it a lot so far. This is kind of a deck that I've had in my brain for a while, and I just, to some extent, Yawg is just a deck that I like. This might be sound weird to say. I've played so much of it that it's kind of exhausting for me to work on it. I worked on it a lot for the PT. I brewed the very initial list post MH1. We've played a ton of Yawg on this channel, not in a long time, but a ton of Yawg, so I don't tend to like to work on the archetype too much on stream. I tend to like to let the Yawg experts play it. There, at the moment, don't seem to be like any Yawg experts working on the archetype. I saw basically nobody build this build either. This build that is like trying to turbo out Yawgmoth with Flare of Cultivation, Phyrexian Tower, and Eldritch Evolution. Not only that, but like, going very in on the Undying creatures, your Yawgmoth, your Strangleroot Geist, so that you can be very in on the Flare, Phyrexian Tower, Eldritch Evolution plan. I will say I've been liking this build a lot so far. It has been very fast, which is exactly what Yawgmoth needs to keep up with Boros energy, just the raw speed. Because Yawgmoth is pretty good against Boros. It has 4 toughness, it can just kill all your opponent's creatures, draw a ton of cards, get ahead. But the problem, I think, with traditional Yawg lists is they are just too slow, and this deck speeds things up here. With 4 Grazer deck, do you think a Bounce Lane could be good? I think a Bounce Lane could be good, but I think we have a lot of extra utility lands. I did consider playing one. I decided we have to play a lot of basics for the flares too. I think there's just barely not room, but you could play one, it would be fine. Okay, Turbo Yawg. Into Thoughtseize for my Chord of Calling, into Goryo's the Ulamog on turn 3. Give me a fucking break. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. We have a Flare, Yawgmoth. Sorry, I can't. I'm sorry for being so tilted about this, but I'll be good. Okay, because we have Yavimaya, I'm going to get double Swamp off my Flare here. They consider Boggo Treller 200 the mana base. The thing is with Flare, you have to play a lot of basics, so I wasn't really of the opinion that we could afford to play a lot of these like single color utility lands. Okay, turn 2 Grist on the play against Dimir is like, doesn't really get much better for this card these days. Wow, Spike, this deck's great. It's just like, you have to watch more than a couple matches, and you also just like, you have to like take what happens in the matches into account a little bit. It's not all about the win-loss record. I want to attack first because I don't want them to Bowmaster my Grist token as easily here. They're gonna double block the Yawgmoth? No, just Undying. I did play the Free Starter deck. I was 3-0 within my first league off stream. We barely started a match against Dimir. Then there was a storm that crashed my power. I came back, I went 0-2, decided to switch to this deck because I think that this deck is pretty dope. Maybe I will come back to that other one, and maybe I won't. I'm not sure yet. I probably abandoned a little quick, but I just felt like the stream needed a little bit of momentum after the crash. Okay, so if I go Blood Artist plus the Grist, I'm gonna have 5 creatures. I'm gonna be 1 mana short of Chord of Calling for a Yawgmoth, and then comboing. Also, if my opponent has Force of Negation here, which isn't an uncommon card, it could be bad to like just main phase tap out for the Chord or whatever. I'm gonna plus the Grist, and then since they are F6'd, I'm just gonna main phase this. Okay, and then I think we kill the Bowmaster with 1 insect. They do get to have 1 trigger here. We're gonna go ahead and sack this insect to reset the Yawgmoth, and then we're gonna sack this Yawgmoth to reset the Geist. Then we're going to make sure we have the Geist untapped. And then we are going to draw a Phyrexian Tower, which at first glance, it looks like we can combo off. But in actuality, we won't be able to reset the Undying. So I think I'm just going to play the tower and pass. I know you tried the new Magda when Thunder Junction came out. Do you think it's playable now? I think it's a cool card. I mean, I think it's okay. It's a card that I thought was pretty solid pre-MH3, and then they printed a lot of better, like, cheap red cards, basically, red and white cards. So I think it's probably just not one you want to play almost ever, but I could see there being some kind of, like, weird fringe reason to play it, but I don't think that there would be... Or I should say, I just don't think there's a really good reason to be like all in on the card anymore. I've been playing Yawg a lot. I have to say Birthing Ritual is the truth for the deck. I would definitely try this build, maybe over Chord. So I appreciate the feedback. I would like to give feedback to your feedback here. In my opinion, a huge reason why the Yawg players are losing is because your deck is too slow. Your deck is too slow. You are losing to Boros in a big way because you just are turn too slow to like get creatures into Yawg ahead of them. This is like the problem with Yawgmoth in my mind in Modern. Now, Birthing Ritual I think really exacerbates this problem. There's like kind of no card you could include in this deck that's slower than Birthing Ritual. It is powerful, it is very grindy, but that is just not what this format is about in my mind. And I think that the way for Yawgmoth to compete is to be able to very quickly and consistently on turn 3 have Yawgmoth plus creatures in play so you can control the energies board. And Birthing Ritual is something that very much does not help you do that. So this is my attitude. You can have your attitude, and I'm not convinced I'm like definitely right about this or whatever. But this is my attitude. Okay, I'm gonna go down to I think 0 or 1 Eldritch Evolutions. I also usually like to cut the Blood Artist in these kind of matchups. I'm going to be bringing in the Veils and the Push and 1 Endurance. 1 Endurance already dragged in there. So it looks like there's room for either... I think I'm going to have all 4 Flares. It's just so good to get ahead on mana when you bring in the Veil of Summers. And I'll say this too. It's like, Yawg players, y'all been losing. Let me try this different angle that I haven't seen anybody try. I've just not. I've been wanting to like play Yawg like this since the start of MH3. I wanted to kind of leave it to the Yawg experts. I didn't see a single person try 4 evolution plus a bunch of towers plus a bunch of flares. Maybe someone did and I missed it, but I didn't see it, so I want to try it. Okay, let's get in there. Might want to play second endurance, but I think just 1 is okay. Yeah, it's okay. No, I'm happy to have the feedback. I'm happy to have the feedback and the back and forth, but also Chord of Calling is just also so insane. Like ever cutting it seems a little silly, maybe. This hand's very good if this flare resolves. That could happen if we draw a land. It could also just happen on turn 2. I'm gonna keep it. Any consideration for endurance would give us more of a chance to kill with chords. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of the main deck endurance. I understand that it lets you Chord of Calling kill like 1 turn faster. This deck already, doesn't have a need for speed, or it does, and we have a lot of speed. So I feel like we don't need this dynamic as much. You could play 1 endurance. You would probably have to cut one of the other silver bullets. But it would be an option. Okay, there's a frog. So it looks like our flare will probably resolve. What I've learned about this deck over the years, I can say whenever you are backed into a linear deck like this, it becomes much worse. Yawg is a good grindy deck by nature and not so much Belcher. I think this is good feedback, Claudio, and obviously, I respect your opinion on the archetype. I will say though, I think this is just like a weird exception to this rule because of like how the metagame is, where I think Yawgmoth as an archetype lines up very well against Dimir naturally. I think this is also true with this build of the deck. This iteration of the deck with its speed is better against energy, and so like it's better against the grindy matchup in the format. So like this attitude of it's better as a grindy deck, I think I would encourage people to try to rethink this, for the simple reason that the dynamic of grindy matchups has changed a lot. Like grindy matchups just don't play in the same way as they used to do. Like this is like specifically tool to beat Boros, and because this is tool to beat Boros by being faster, you are also better against the other non-interactive decks. Like this extra speed is going to allow you to be better against Eldrazi and Belcher and Titan. And so like I actually, like, at least by my current estimations, I just don't really see much downside to building the deck in this way. I both agree with Claudio's kind of traditional wisdom about the deck, but I just think that this is kind of the only way I'm interested in building Yawg, and so maybe this isn't as good as I think it is, or as good as it was yesterday, but if it isn't, then we can just go back to abandoning Yawg maybe. If Energy was no longer the number one deck, do you think a more standard build would be better? I mean, if Energy was no longer the number one deck, and then the metagame was exactly the way it was a year ago, sure, but what is replacing Energy as the best deck in this hypothetical situation? It's kind of entirely what the answer would depend on. You're not wrong. The old build is not playable. Yeah, or yeah, exactly. And this happens a lot too. Like when an old archetype, or maybe old is a bit of a stretch, but when an archetype like this isn't playable for an extended period of time, I come back with like a different angle to work on it, and then archetype experts of the deck are like, "Wait, this isn't the standard build. What the heck?" But like that's kind of the whole idea, is that the standard build is not working. I'm trying to figure out something that does work, and so far this has been working. So this build is much better against everything except Blueback Jeskai. Yes, I think so, but I also think this deck, I think like Yawgmoth just naturally lines up so well against Blue-Black that I'm okay. I'm okay taking a hit to the percentage points in this matchup. Like I think we're still just gonna like be very good here. I don't think, unless this is so many negatives, I don't think unless you remove more than the ring, that Energy isn't the best deck. There's too many double, triple, quadruple negatives here. I don't know what you're saying. Like if the other decks just all gained the meta share of Eldrazi with Breach, Belcher, Dimir. I don't know. It's like, because like I also think this build is better in basically every matchup besides Jeskai and Dimir, and so like at the very least, these kind of questions that are like, would we play the standard build if the metagame was drastically different? Like they're just never really going to be an answerable question, because the metagame is what it is. It's outside of my control, and I can't just tell you how things would be in these hypothetical situations very effectively. Second Frog. It's kind of absurd here. They also didn't kill the Grist, which is just a game-losing punt on their part. Seems like I should Bowmaster before Chord, just in case my opponent does have a force. Now I did side out my Blood Artist. I do still have an Apprentice Marionette in the deck, and they're at 9 life. So I think I'd like to start just by resetting a Yawgmoth. Okay, and they just concede. Like, these are options, but they are options I have thought about. Okay, so we're on the draw against a 7-card keep. I'm going to keep this, put back second Flare. Not an amazing hand. Why no wall now that it's fixed? This build that's very in on Eldritch Evolution, I think, wants to just play Bowmaster and Strangleroot Geist as the 2 drops. Geist also better with Tower, better with Flare, and kind of simply put, Wall of Roots not good with Flare. So we are on the draw against Energy with a slower hand, which is not exactly where we want it to be. Imagine no ring ban, but Birthing Pod on ban. I think Birthing Pod would be pretty safe on ban. Did test it a while ago with Caleb. This is one of those situations too where like if I'm just on the play and I can much more comfortably ping the cat and maybe attack it a little bit, but on the draw it's tougher. I'm gonna surveil instead of playing around Moon, I think. Do I think Splinter Twin would be safe? Yes, I do think Splinter Twin would be safe. Despite the kappa in your comment, I think Twin would be maybe the safest unban of every card on the modern ban list. Yeah, maybe Bridge from Below. I mean, I guess not. Bridge is not safe. Yeah. I would say Splinter Twin is the safest card on the modern ban list to unban. They hit another Ajani here. Punishing Fire is the safest. Yeah, maybe Punishing Fire. I think Blazing Shoal would be beyond safe. I don't know. It's like for cards like Bridge from Below and Blazing Shoal that are like, you know, like Blazing Shoal is a kill you on turn 2 card. Blazing Shoal plus Inkmoth Nexus is pretty good, pretty intense. He's only saying that because he says Jitte people yada. Maybe I'm no like Jitte is just it's so bad. It's like almost always Jitte is so much worse than Goblin Bombardment. It's hilarious in this deck. Bold Statement with Hypergenesis still in there. Okay, yeah, Hypergenesis. That's the actual safest one. It's just actually worse than a card that's legal. Actually worse than a card that's legal at the moment. Yeah, but I agree. Blazing Shoal, Bridge from Below, they don't necessarily do good things for the format. Although I do kind of generally think that it might be better for. I think I killed this. I mean, the Raptor being a red permanent's a pain, but stopping the 3/2 this turn is also pretty relevant. Not sure. Jitte is not going to get unbanned. Keep coping. Keep coping. I'll say this: I've never heard a good argument from a Jitte defender about how this card would be good in Modern if it were unbanned. It's just all very emotional stuff like this. It would probably make Hammer playable again. It wouldn't. Hammer would still be a bad deck. Just what are we talking about? Okay. We'll see what happens next turn. I don't think I'm supposed to flare again. Or sorry, actually, am I because of the Ajani ultimate? Maybe. I think it's not. I didn't say good. I said playable. Well, so I mean, so like, what's the difference? Like, why is a deck playable if it, like you know, like why would you deem this deck to be playable if they unban Jitte? It would still be, I think, a bad deck. But maybe I don't know. I could be wrong. Okay, down to Gaming its Energy. Not the best. I'm gonna go ahead and enact my sideboard plan though, which is to cut Blood Artist. So, yeah, I do want the second Mite. Okay. Sorry, I had this mapped out yesterday. Okay. Cut the Blood Artist, cut both Grists. I think Grist is just bad against them. Then was it cut one Grazer, one Flare? Or was it? I don't feel like it was to cut the Grazers or the Flares. It was to bring in these 5 cards. Oh, I got the Apprentice also. You don't really care about comboing them, I think. You just care about Yawgmoth controlling the board and then winning the game with like Sheoldred and stuff. And so like this is kind of your new Blood Artist effect. But I don't think you care about comboing them much. But maybe that attitude isn't good because they can gain so much life. That actually closing the game without a Blood Artist or Spy could be, or Apprentice could be bad. Okay, I think let's go ahead and pivot from the plan that I had coming in today. I'm gonna go down one Grazer and click submit. I don't see how Jitte is good in any deck. Yeah, Jitte might be completely unplayable. It might see play as a one of in some decks. But yeah, again, I really all of the like the Jitte defenders are like the angriest group of people in the Magic community, and I don't know, I feel bad for them. All right, let's keep this. Am I gonna get forest, or am I gonna get forest, swamp? The flares do help you play around Blood Moon a bit better. I think I'm getting forest. Just way more green overall, and I have a lot of answers to Blood Moon. Vengeful Witch. Whenever another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1, you gain 1. Blood Artist triggers on opposing creatures also. Okay, I probably just want to double Bowmaster the guide next turn. Yeah, you might play 1 copy of Jitte in the sideboard of some decks. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe in like Fervent Blade decks. We would try it if it was unbanned. We would try it. Hope they have a ring in their draw. Wait, maybe I'll eat those words. Oh, they brought in Wear Tear against me. Card is that card actually blank? Might be. How would elves ever beat a Jitte? How would you ever play against elves in the modern format? Although they're beating Jitte easier than they're beating Pyroclasms. You keep trying to make elves work. That's why I know it's. That's why I know you're not going to play against it. Of course, I'm trying. This shit doesn't work. Is Dark Depths unbannable? No, I don't think so. When Canister hosted his no ban list tournament a couple years ago, it was like the best performing deck by a lot. They play a Johnny. Guess I just kill the guide in response. Blood Moon. Okay. So it'd be kind of sad if we top deck actual Yawgmoth, but we still have 4 Chord of Calling and 4 Eldritch Evolutions, which are going to be like effective dubs here, which I think is the reason to go in on green over black for the Flare of Cultivation choice earlier. Ding, ding, ding. I think it's okay to attack with these. I feel like Moon was not a good play for them. Yeah, oh, they also have no white mana, I just noticed. Draw a few cards here. Don't want to go too low. Because I'm not gonna be able to Chord of Calling for anything. A little bit of a lag here. It could be concession lag. No, just good old. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I think like yesterday I was kind of thinking I didn't need the Blood Artist, but they do just have so much staying power that maybe it's unfortunately something you need. Would maybe be something we could figure out after a bunch of playtesting. Thinking no ban modern Storm would be the most broken thing right now. For some reason, people basically never play Storm in no banless modern. Although I haven't really seen it like since like Ral and Ruby got printed, so you might be right. What Storm cards are currently banned? Seething Song, Rite of Flame, Chrome Mox, Gitaxian Probe. I think there's like one more one. Maybe not. I don't love this hand that has no 1-drop, but I think I'm gonna have to keep. My opponent's on a mulligan to 6 also. Yeah, Simian Spirit Guide, baby. I don't know if you play it in like you might do it in no banless modern. Chromox Besiege is a Legacy win con. Yeah, but aren't you missing a lot of the cards you would normally play in Legacy? Can I have Boseiju for Blood Moon in this hand too? Yeah, you know, no banless modern post MH3 is probably pretty fun and interesting. Not usually a format that I like care that much about, but it sounds kind of nice. Yeah, with no like black rituals, Besiege is just it just ain't the same card. It's pretty gnarly a Johnny. Would ever consider one of Plague Engineer in the sideboard? I have a Plague Engineer in the sideboard and in the deck right now. Could it be a part of my plan to Chord of Calling for it next turn? I think that I won't be able to. I won't have enough cards. But maybe the turn after that. Although it's a problem if I like feel like I have to kill this Ocelot Pride and then they get to plus the Ajani. You mulliganed? Golly. What am I missing? Why no fetch and just fail? They blood mooned me in games 1 and 2, so I'm gonna try to focus on basics. No Plague Engineer in Moxford list, I see. Don't know how that happened. Oh, there is one. Okay, never mind. You've missed it. I can't. Bros can't be beat. I mean, I think if we win this die roll, yeah, this is the problem. You know, if we draw a Plague Engineer, we're kind of in good shape. No attacks. Probably not correct. So I think what we need to do is Boseiju this bombardment in their upkeep. It's not a big difference between upkeep and main phase. Boris is so good. I saw Canister play it 10 out of 12 games of Showcase. Well, he won the Showcase, right? We'll just need a Canister to save us with Amulet Titan. Maybe Draw Step is better so they can't Surveil into good play. Okay, they didn't get a Surveil land. Because it was in the hand. What do you want Jeskai dressed out on Modern right now? You can play Jeskai Control. You can play Dress Down plus Flage. They kept the Wear Tears in. Unfortunately, they didn't have that in their opening hand. You can play Jeskai Control. You can play Dress Down Flage. I would basically never play Null Drifter. I know it's good with Dress Down. I know that it's good with Consign. I just think it's suboptimal in your archetype and raises your curve and is very, very weak when you don't combo with it. And even when you do combo with it, it isn't like so game breaking. Okay, so my opponent pluses the Ajani here. They have one card in their hand. Is this a winnable game? Wait, they're attacking with this Guide of Souls? Bit awkward that I can't like just Plague Engineer these cats anymore, but just triple block. Maybe they have the ring as the last card. I triple block to play around removal spell, then their last card is ring. That could be the case. I think we still triple block. I am at only 4 live. Their last card is Disruptor Flute. Predictably named Yawg. Okay, I can Eldritch Evolution for Plague Engineer, shrink the cats. Doesn't seem as good. I can Eldritch Evolution for Grist, kill a Johnny, trade with 1 cat, die. I feel like there has to be a line here, but maybe there isn't. If I had the card that we played for Rhinos, oh, I can't remember the name of that card. Kills all 0-drops in your instep. That card could get us out of this. Oh, I also boarded out my Grists. So I need to stop thinking about that one. I guess my line is going to be Eldritch Evolution for Blood Artist. Yeah, Necroplasm. My opponent has no cards in their hand. They self-banned Gigantha, which is very nice of them. Why did the Grist line not work? If we had Grist, we'd go to 1. Not against the Johnny, right? Like, if we kill a Johnny, we're minus a creature, yeah. You want to plus with Grist, then they get ultimated. Get Mite, yeah, maybe. I think this line was fine. That's the Boros matchup. Got to win the die roll, maybe. Our game 1 draw also just like wasn't one that was like this too. What makes this deck turbo? We were playing 4 Flare, playing Phyrexian Tower, playing 4 Eldritch Evolution. Yeah, the record tracker. I don't know if it's because I like restarted the stream, but it's not working. Okay, I will update it. Standard stream win. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I mean, I'm still like messing around with standard. I'm still looking at it. I just at the moment am not having that much fun with it, and I'm starting to think that it may just not be for me, which is okay. Not everything is for everybody. They keep a card on top. Commercial District is like Eldrazi or Storm. So I think I'm just supposed to slam Yawgmoth this turn with the hopes of combo killing next turn. Have I worked on any Aether Revolt decks? I mean, like a little bit. I don't think that card is super good or good. So I played the Strangleroot Geist, and I don't draw a green. I can't Chord of Calling this turn. I think that's okay. Nice. That was easy. Oh my gosh. Sorry, chat. I sacked the wrong creature to the wrong creature. I hope you can forgive me. I would understand if you couldn't. It was not that easy after all. Oopsie doopsie. They can't all as dust or devour here. Still in like pretty good shape. That would have been a turn 3 combo kill for those keeping track. maybe it's too painful to keep track now. Target then second. I know. I get it. I know. I'm sorry. NG Twitch Prime, thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Okay. Pretty sure I just go for another Yawgmoth first. I guess I don't need the... Okay, choose a creature. Sacrifice another creature. I guess I don't need the Bowmaster to do that, though. So I can just do this first to see if I draw the Undying Creature. Okay. We do have a lot more Undying Creatures in this build than traditional Yawg lists. My opponent is definitely going to make me click through this after me misclicking earlier. Thoughts on the mix of Semblance, Anvil combo, and Metalwork Colossus in one deck. This is the start of an idea that is very complicated and would take hours and hours to be fleshed out. There's potentially something there, but it is just the start of a thought. I don't know if that's something that's viable. You'd have to spend a long time trying to figure it out. How much stream do you spend off-stream grinding? How much off-stream grinding do you get in to make a list streamable? I mean, it just depends. Yeah, sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes it's pretty fast. This is a list. I feel like I had a big breakthrough Monday morning, and then I played like 3 matches, and I feel like this list was great. I was really excited for it. But also to like some extent too. Like this is a build that I have been kind of thinking about since MH3 came out, and like a lot of stuff is just kind of a work in progress until it's a breakthrough. But you know, lately I've been spending like 4 to 5 hours off stream every day, 7 days a week, and then I get nut drawn by Goryo's twice, and I mold a 5 twice against the Elementals deck, and my check goes. It seems a little glass cannony, and that is the Aspiring Spike experience. When's the next event? I've got the mocks at the end of the month that I'm pretty excited for. Okay, so we're up a game against Eldrazi. I'm going to bring in my Ouphe. Don't know if I want to bring in a bunch of extra Boseijus. Maybe if it was like the Thran build I played over the weekend. Top 8 with that deck. It was pretty cool. Yeah, maybe just Ouphe for a Grist. Don't know if I want the second Haywire Mite. Second Mite's actually probably just good. We're not one of the first people to put together Yawgmoth that came out. Yes. I went over this a little bit, but like we just played so much Yawg when it first came out that and also like it was my Barcelona deck that I'm still like kind of burned out on the archetype despite me not really having seriously streamed it in a long time. What matchup is the Cauldrons and the Boseiju for? Boseijus are for Thran, which our opponent's not Thran, and Belcher. And then the Cauldrons are graveyard hate, mostly, that kind of serve like dual purpose of being like good cards in your deck. But they're mostly just graveyard hate. How was the brewing lately? I know earlier this month you talked about feeling kind of burned out. I mean, I feel like the brews have been good and the decks have been good and the streams have been good for like the last 2 weeks, but it's more so that like keeping the quality and keeping the quantity of the brews has been more difficult in the last 2 months than maybe ever, probably ever. Okay, not too scared about that. I think because they played the Jailer, we'll just play Grist plus Grist with the intention of just killing this at some point with the Grist. Yeah, I would say this has maybe been the most difficult time to like keep the brews coming because it's just a very difficult format to attack. I feel like I'm very proud that we've had like interesting stuff to do. We've had some breakthroughs. We've had stuff to do, and it has not been super easy. But I've been getting there. Time to start streaming standard brews. I mean, yeah, this is part of the, thought I'm having about getting into standard, is that it's just tough to be brewing in modern. And if there was another format that I could get into, become an expert of, start brewing in, that people were interested in, that would be nice, because modern has just been so tough right now. And I don't think that there really is any other format besides standard that really could be. Are we going to see more board opposed Colossus combo? I think so, yeah. To me, it kind of seems like there could still be a breakthrough on that deck, but if there is, it's not a breakthrough I've had yet. You don't like Pioneer? I guess no. I mean, so like one thing is, like, Pioneer is a format that it feels kind of old and tired to me. It feels like there's just like this kind of never-ending cycle of, oh, Pioneers, it's good now. It's good now for real. Oh, it's good now. It's good for real this time. Yeah, this is the time. Oh, Pioneers been bad all these other times. It's good now. And I just have come back to it too many times, and there are some things I've enjoyed about the format. But I think it's just not for me, and that's okay. I think I just sacked the Grazer first. Maybe I should sack the insect before the Orc army. Doesn't seem like it matters at this point. Okay, I don't think I'm going to use the Flare. I think I'm just going to pass at this point. Sheoldred would be worth considering the spot or no. I think you're supposed to get the Yawgmoth. That's like +4 cards for me when I have like no action in my hand, but you could consider it. If you force yourself to do something, you could learn to enjoy it. Play against the One Ring for 18 straight months. I don't know. The Ring is not the same card that it used to be, but I mean, yeah, I might be able to enjoy a different format. I'm open to it. But the Ring is like a much different card with Flage and Ugin's Labyrinth than it used to be. So they did hit an Emrakul. And they're adding a sorcery to the art, so Emrakul is going to cost 9 that they shouldn't have here. Why not attack? They have protection from everything. But yeah, no Ring Discourse, please. Thank you. Alright, so if we sack target the spawn, and they sack the spawn for mana, we don't get our cards. We probably won't be doing that. We're looking for some combination of combo cards, Blood Artist, Sheoldred, this kind of stuff. Let's just go ahead and sack the Geist first, and we can make a token and then use that token to reset the Geist potentially. Although now I milled my Sheoldred, so that gives me less juice, I guess. That being said, I'm still just going to go ahead and grab a second Geist. Can we talk about Ashwooding the Arena Challenge with Standard Soul Flare? I totally was not there for the part of the stream. When I was watching, she was just grinding the Rakdos deck the whole time. That's awesome, though. I will say, I watch Ash's stream. She's like brewing constantly. She has a ton of cool stuff, and this is also like a dynamic that I talk about a lot. Like I am not able to be on Ash's level in Standard because I just have spent 5 years working on Modern, and I don't know the Standard format to the degree that the experts do. It would be nice to be there, and maybe I can get there still. But I also just haven't been having as much fun as I would like to. Okay, we need to find a chord soon. Don't know if this Ouphe is gonna be enough. It seems like they can cast the Emrakul. Okay, there's a Chord of Calling. think we might as well get this down. McLoser, thank you for the 7 months. Hope you're doing well. Away play patterns. This is the thing. It seems to be a thing, yeah. And it also seems that we just want to let our opponent make the first move in this spot. Like, let them cast the Emrakul and then Chord for the win in response. Almost all of Ashley's builds are solid. Yeah, she's a great deck builder, great player, great streamer for sure. And it's very tough to be like an Ash or a me in two different formats at once. Like, at least with my process, it's just you have to be obsessed, you have to like really be a master, and I don't know, I've never really been devoted to two formats at once. I've tried to like straddle the line between Pioneer and Modern before. Okay, it was not foreseeing this. But to be a true expert of one at both and be like brewing at the level of both at one time is... I don't know if it's ever been done. Does Ash stream? Yeah, she is a streamer. Ash Lizzle. She is a wonderful... yeah, maybe can we get a shout out for Ash in the chat? I've met her a couple times. I met her in Vegas most recently. Okay, seems like I should just respond to this. It's tough for your viewership too, known as the modern guys, so people want to tune into standard gameplay. I mean, maybe that might be the case. Kind of simply put, I've always kind of had the attitude if the content is good, people will come. Like, that's, you know, this is the most important thing to being any kind of streamer or content creator, is making good shit. It's just always the highest thing. And for me, I like, if the viewership takes a hit on account for me switching to standard, that's okay. That's fine. If I think this is a good direction to take the stream, if I'm interested in it and if I'm having fun, then I think people will eventually come. And if not, then maybe I'm wrong. But if I'm interested in fun, I think this is important. Another thing too is, as a streamer who primarily plays one game, you have to be able to evolve and you have to be able to grow and you have to be able to get better. And this is something I've been really focused on lately. I will also say, I have not been having that much fun with standard, so there's a pretty solid chance at this point I just continue to get in with modern, and in 3.5 weeks, maybe the format gets fixed with the ban announcement, maybe it doesn't. But anything can happen. But it's just very important to keep that open mind, I think, and not just be stagnant and unable to evolve. Opponent not a conceder. Why would they be when I misclicked in game 1? No consideration for iterating on Legacy Ant. I basically have no consideration for just being a single deck specialist in one format. Not only I think is that just not a good direction to go as a streamer, but it would drive me crazy to just grind one deck forever. Like the ant streams that we had recently were really special because they're rare, and I think, you know, doing stuff like this occasionally is good, I think, but to become a deck specialist in one format is just not for me. I just also go crazy. Like, the reason the stream is like fresh and interesting is because I'm doing this kind of stuff all the time. Again, Falls at 30 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate Jim. I always assume Vintage is fun. I assume there isn't anywhere to go from a brewing perspective. I don't think this is true. Vintage has an Ash, and I am actually level 1, who is like the Vintage brewer guy, and like a lot of the brews just ends up being like, let's play this commander card alongside all the powerful card draw spells and fast mana, or let's play this standard card alongside all the card draw spells and the fast mana. But you know, there's room for that kind of stuff. Why Artist over Cutthroat? So the difference is, of course, Artist triggers on your opponent's creatures dying. Cutthroat gets around the ring and has one more point of power. I want this build to be hedged against energy as much as possible. And I think that Blood Artist is much better against energy than Cutthroat. So I think it's like a clear Blood Artist over Cutthroat for me. My opponent seems to be angle shooting a little bit, hoping to pause a little to get me to misclick. I kind of don't see any other way to interpret this, if I'm going to be quite honest. I hope that that's not what's happening. They're definitely not confused, and they're definitely pausing at like weird random intervals. Yeah, but it does not seem like it does not seem like these pauses are for any other reason than hoping I misclick. Is this top 8 of a challenge? No, it's our third match in the league. Oh, you're just saying they're really into it. Everos still streams? Yeah, Everos doesn't stream, like, I basically never see him streaming Magic anymore. I've seen him, like, on other streams, like, just on a call, but yeah, it doesn't seem like he likes Magic that much anymore. I still watch whenever I can. My first Twitch subscription ever, maybe my last. Yeah, opponent seems to be salting off a bit here, unfortunately. I'm going to update the record to 2-0, or 2-1, sorry. Yeah, we're waiting for the mandatory salty message. I don't know if we're gonna get it. No. All right. 2-1. Again, I'm liking this deck a lot. I was 2-1 with it in testing. I like the speed is such a big deal. We would have had a turn 3 kill game 1 of this match if I hadn't misclicked. It is unfortunate we lost to Boros. I also just lost a die roll and had a slower than average hand game 1. You're not going to beat Boros every time, but I'm optimistic about it. Turbo is kind of in the title, sort of tongue-in-cheek, because I've been making fun of the term some. Okay, we're going to keep this on 6. If we draw a land, it's really nice, but this is a functional 6-card hand with the Flare of Grazer. Maybe Titan. I'll say this. We have not been doing a great job winning die rolls with this deck. Especially in the matchups where it really seems to matter. Do I miss Hapatra at all? I'm not sure yet. I used to be a big Hapatra defender. One thing is I don't like that it's a 2-drop that doesn't get sacked to Eldritch Evolution very well. That's why we have Bowmasters, Strangleroot Geist as the 2s to like make Evolution better. But you could play Hapatra. Okay, so we're on the draw against Titan. In the board, we have extra Haywire Mite. We have potentially extra Boseijus. I don't know if I want to bring those in necessarily. But I think we're mostly just trying to like outrace them, which is something that's a lot more doable if you win the die roll, and a lot more doable if your opponent lets you play Magic the Gathering. Whatever sideboard the Zulaport for ring matchups, or it's a waste of space. I think it's mostly a waste of space because with Blood Artist, you can just combo after they lose the protection. So this mostly matters against the interactive ring decks, right? So like you really only care that your opponent's going to be like letting your opponent untap when you're comboing against the ring decks with a lot of interaction. And so the list of like very interactive ring decks it's basically just like Jeskai Control, which I think which is not enough for me to want to sideboard the Cutthroat. I might even side out the Blood Artist in that matchup. Canister won the Showcase of Titan. He played against Energy 11 at 13 rounds. Yeah, I've heard. A little annoying how good this construct is here, because I don't really want to play my Grist anymore. Doesn't Boros have a ton of removal that interacts with the combo? Doesn't Boros have a ton of removal that interacts with the combo? Are we talking about Titan or are we talking about this now? If we're talking about this deck, you're not so in on the combo as the Yawgmoth player. You're in on I sack my creature, I kill your creature, I draw a card. I sack my creature, I kill your creature, I draw a card. And then you control the board. That is mostly the plan. And I'm in fact I was planning on completely boarding out the combo. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. When we played against Boros, I left in a Blood Artist. I might still leave in the Blood Artist, but you're not really, your plan isn't to combo Boros. All right, this basic forest is not 6 mana for a Primeval Titan at least. Impacts of the Invitational Fukusco Titan consistently ran over energy. I'd say 50% top 8 was Titan. Yeah, Titan seems like to be one of the few decks that just actually just stomps energy. Despite and also like this dynamic is also because basically every energy deck I've played against, or that's not true. They had Blood Moon against me today. But over the weekend, like they would just like cut the moons from like the list I was playing against. Yeah, ring plus combo beats energy is kind of the dynamic of the Woodlands Omniscience deck too, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Haywire Mite. I'm not gonna bring in the Cauldron. I think the extra Boseijus probably get in. I think I'm cutting both copies of Grist. I'm gonna cut the Sheoldred. Oh, this is just maybe I don't love like the just 2 extra. I'm gonna cut Yavimaya, just be up 1 extra land, and then I'm gonna play one of these cards. Could I want Endurance for an Aftermath Analyst turn? Seems a little narrow. I don't think I want an Ouphe as an extra answer to Ring. Why am I on 2 Grist main? I think the second Grist main is really important against Dimir, and Dimir is really popular. You could play one less. We could play 1 Cauldron, which is also like hedges against the loop stuff kind of well, and it's good with my Haywire Mites. Maybe we could play 2 Cauldron. I think I'm down for the first one. Let's just do this. Lumra and Analyst are good reasons for Endurance. Yeah. I kind of concur. Maybe we could just go down a forest since we have the extra Boseijus in. I just haven't had a lot of success with these kind of effects against them too, also because of ring protection. Second Cauldron over Bowmaster. I think I have to keep in the Bowmasters because they sacked the Evolution and they're also a ring deck, but you know, Titan is definitely way more resilient to like Bowmaster than any other ring deck. Maybe I do need to have more Titan hate in the board. Would probably be Force of Vigors, but I'm also just kind of thinking, if I win the die roll, I can win a bit more consistently. Playing Espergorios in RCQ this weekend. What do you think is the best build? We had a pretty good time with the the Kiora build recently. I've only played like 7 matches with it, but I did think that build felt very good and clean. So I would recommend it to you, but I wouldn't exactly recommend playing it untested. So I can go Evolution for Yawg into Boseiju next turn potentially. Just slow them down for a turn. Analyst, graveyarding Lotus Field and graveyarding Civic Growth Chamber. Kind of scary. So is it better to kill the Saga now, or is it better to try to Boseiju the bounce land? I think the fact that like I can't Boseiju Lotus Field just makes it almost clear I should get the Saga now. Yeah, I think Coma cannot possibly be optimal. I know Dingo was playing it. I think there's just no chance this is optimal. You do get to be 2 colors instead of 3, but like you've added Kiora to your deck and you've cut Ephemerate, which just doesn't seem correct either. But maybe I can be a bit Ephemerate brained. Dude, Whale of the Forgotten Kiora is pretty cool though. I do like this. I'm a big softie for that card. Okay, Spelunking. So this is probably a kill for them. I can't kill their analyst. I did board in an endurance, so I guess we could be digging for that. If you're gonna put in more Titan Hate, would Damping Sphere be a consideration, as it's also good against Storm? Yeah, maybe. This kills us. Yeah. I mean, they either need to have something in hand or me to not draw endurance. So I'm gonna wait for them to activate the analyst, but I am gonna try to cheese them. Two more looks. It would be a nice draw. I'd actually win there. They have a Teleria West that they get to bounce and transmute. Get a Titan. Get the loop going. Okay, so we're on the draw and the blind. I'm going to mulligan this hand. We keep this one. This can be a turn 2 Yawgmoth off the Phyrexian Tower. I think I'm going to put back the Catacombs. Did I ever fool around with Higher Ghast and Emerge stuff with Sanctum of Ugin? Okay, well, I'm not really familiar with this card. Whoa, Vargoth's Lair. Pretty cool. I will say I was looking at the Eerie 2/3 flash Eerie draw card from the recent set, whatever the recent set's called. Duskmourn. And that card is really cool with Amphibian Downpour. Whoa, what the hell is going on? No, Haragast is just unplayable. Okay, every turn a surprise. I might just put a Grist into play. Yeah, it's Geist. Yeah, Lair also has some Texas Scavengers, but yeah, I would be playing like 4 Zatalpa, 4 Striped Riverwinder, maybe like 2 Goldspan Dragon. I would also like do a deep dive looking and seeing if there's any like new weird card I missed, and I would probably not find it because I don't think there is one, but I would do a double check. And then I would play like a Dimir Frog list built around it, which could be fine. Okay, then there's a Seagate Restoration, another surprise. Yeah, no Loot Tree. Although you basically could never Eldrazi Temple Loot Tree. Yeah, now opponent's deck is the turbo deck. Turbo is playing Flare. For me, Turbo is 4 Flare, 3 Phyrexian Tower, 4 Eldritch Evolutions. If that doesn't meet your definition, I recommend telling me that the deck seems like glass cannon-y. Okay. What the fuck? Literally every turn, I'm surprised by a card. Yeah, also 4 Grazer. I don't know. Is this Flare? Is this not Flare? It doesn't even matter at this point. Welcome to Modern. Literally, what are they doing? I don't know. I cannot remember the last time I played against like just Tradebinder. Is this Blue Tron? Yeah, it's gotta be Tronless Blue Tron. I don't know what they're doing with this. We've seen. I guess okay. There's another enchantment. So they probably have the 2/3 plus Amphibian Downpour. I don't think that's a good enough reason to play this card. Bada with the 56 months, and I have yet again received the subscription. Let's go. Thought scour themselves. What is happening? Yeah, maybe important. Oh, that would explain the Seagate Restoration. me get this Bowmaster in play before they untap with the ring. I think we just pass. Literally every turn, it's a surprising card. This is nuts. I can't pull just another one. Never seen this card. I mean, I've actually played this card off stream in Modern, but I've never seen anyone else cast it against me. I've never seen anyone cast this card. I've never seen anyone play this card. Kudos to them. Oh yeah, update the record. Probably is it through the breach. I don't know if this is probably anything, but I would say it could be, I suppose. I feel that we have long since left the world of probably. Yeah, y'all are saying it's gotta be Portent. I guess we've seen like this as like an okay Portent card, you know. It's not Tainted Pact? Well, that card's not legal. Scream is stuck in Belcher. Oh, that's right. I've seen it in Belcher. Duh. Now, I certainly don't put a Force of Negation out of the realm of possibility. Might as well do this with the Grazer trigger on the stack, right? Maybe played a little bit too hard around the Force of Negation. But I think I'm okay to just do this. If they all is dust, they die because of the ring damage. So I'm feeling pretty good. If they Emrakul, they die. So should probably be okay. Surely this is blue Tronless Tron. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like. I mean, if you take the Tron out of the mono blue Tron, I think you've lost a lot of the identity of that deck. But yeah. I guess Reenact the Crime. I think that's a good guess. I think Reenact the Crime is a good guess. I was trying to play Reenact the Crime in Standard. And like loot it away to Kitsa or the 2/1 that loots and puts a chorus counter and then Reenact the Crime Omniscience. Can we complain about wide right energy? Leave the ring and out of it. And also, if you could just have a fresh take, that would just be so nice. Little turbo. Hey, my decks are turbo. Your decks aren't. It is a little tongue in cheek with the whole turbo memes we've been having. Should have reset the Geist with the army second trigger. Yeah, I guess so. Although I might want the 2/2. Probably not. Alchemy should become a Pro Tour format. Oh wait, so wait, is Alchemy a format, or I thought Alchemy was like a subset of formats? It just itself is a format. Oh, I was gonna evolution for this. I guess I'm just gonna cast it. Standard Alchemy is called Alchemy. Okay, so Alchemy is a format only on Arena. So it's standard legal only, or is it like I thought there was like historic alchemy and standard alchemy and explorer alchemy. I guess explorer alchemy is probably another thing. Apprentice gets around ring. I mean, that's true, but also like they just, I mean, we can't really lose. But that is true. I mean, we actually saw no counter spells. I don't know if I want to bring in the Veil of Summers. Do I even have it in me to sideboard? I'll respect them. I'll sideboard. I think Alchemy was a mistake. Well, this is a take I hear a lot. I don't like know any like content creators who are like, yeah, I'm the Alchemy guy. I just need one Mite, actually. I mean, they're filling up their graveyard really hard. So not playing Endurance is probably a mistake. Isn't Alchemy cards just a testing ground to see how badly developed cards can be modified to see the effect? I guess. I don't know, but like to some extent, I don't know. This feels a little nihilistic. I don't think any format should exist unless people like to play it or they like to deck build it and they're having fun. Like otherwise, what's the point? Jim was into the idea of Phyllis. Okay, I didn't know Jim liked it. I mean, again, this is the beautiful thing about Magic the Gathering is there are unlimited ways to play the game, and it is totally fine for people and for wizards to get weird with it. Even if you don't like it, that doesn't mean that there's not something interesting going on. Dalton with the 66. WotC should print a card called Divorce, which destroys an artifact with CMC4 and makes the artifact's controller discard cards equal to the number of counters on the artifact, and the player loses protection. Yeah, I mean, I guess this card sounds like it would be good against some cards. Not the One Ring, though, since the One Ring has Indestructible. Undivorceable. With Cure being good with haste, has there been any consideration to put it in the God Pharaoh's Gift Ulamog build? God Pharaoh's Gift does give it haste. I think that's kind of an interesting thought, yeah. The ring should actually be errated to say indestructible parenthesized, just like flavor indestructible, you can destroy this card. You just have to say, I cast it into the fire of Mount Doom. That's the only way that you can destroy it. You must yell out loud, I cast it into the fire of Mount Doom. Yeah, the classic 2-2 bracket. Is it Tron? We've seen, I think there is an Eldrazi. They've been playing a lot of wackadoodle cards. I still haven't sold my rings. I believe in WotC. I haven't sold mine either. I have 5 rings. Just like my King LeBron James. I think it's 5 and it might be 4, it might be 6. I'm also I just never sell any cards ever, basically. It's not a finance stream. Do what you want at your own risk. One for each finger. Well, I bought my playset before Pro Tour Barcelona, and then I got to keep one from one of the drafts we did. That's how I have 5. And then in theory, I can put the 5th ring in my Magna EDH deck, but I haven't gotten around to that. But this used to be how it used to feel to play the ring, but then they printed Labyrinth and Lage. Shouldn't you lose the game when the ring leaves the battlefield? I mean, once it fell in Mount Doom, Sauron kind of exploded. This is an excellent point. My opponent Portents X equals 1. Yeah, there is an upcoming BNR in December. Sorry, no ring discourse. No ring discourse. You almost had me. Do you play casual Magna and EDH or like full clock combo? I don't have clock in the deck. My goal with Magna and EDH is to just put some dragons into play. You're also a real breaker of creation. Is to just like put the coolest dragon into play I can on any given turn. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's a casual deck either, because I haven't taken my Mana Crypt out, but why would I? That shit's gonna be legal again at some point. I have like Grim Monolith, Ancient True, Mana Crypt, all this stuff to like so I can cast my dragons, you know. So I don't know if it's casual, but I don't have any infinite combos. Is it casual now? Okay, so my opponent's gonna go to 1 after the Sheoldred trigger. Is chat okay? EDH gamers, does that sound like is that a good EDH deck? Did I meet the social conditions? I'm genuinely asking. Chapel, yeah, me and Esther got to see Chapel in concert earlier this year. I do mean to brag. Super stonks to buy mana crypt was banned. Yeah, there's how could they ever not make it legal in the top tier of the stuff? It is red play group. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about Commander, so don't sue me. Although actually, I had a Commander YouTuber who wanted to talk to me about my experience with the format for like 10 minutes last week. First paper MTG I've been almost 8 years. That's awesome. Login name, very cool. Weird to find out DCIs are no longer a thing. Yeah, they aren't a thing, but I feel like if someone's asked me for my DCI like in the last year, I guess it's not really a thing anymore. Wait, did they hit? They hit. They get to play the ring, but they're gonna die to Sheoldred. You almost play with some weak ass EDH players if you're saying people complain about Tomb. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, would people complain about 2 monolith mana crypts in a non-combo? Is because I don't think the clock stuff is very interesting for Magda. You know, I don't think it's very interesting to be like, okay, I have this one card, I combo with it every game. What's the point of playing Commander if you don't get a little bit of variety, right? I think I'm gonna cut the Apprentice for a Hapatra. I think they're both kind of. I will not expand further, but I think they're kind of both occupying